How did a farmer turn out to be the head of the most dangerous criminal organization in the world? The very infamous El Chapo was known before as Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera. Born to a middle-class family full of farmers in northwest Mexico, he rises to be the head of the most dangerous group of criminals the world has ever seen, the Sinaloa Drug Cartel. Make your day special by subscribing to our channel. Did this happen overnight? Everything happened gradually, day by day, since he was born. Badiraguato municipality is where El Chapo was born and raised, making it the most beautiful and heartwarming place he has ever been to. Miguel Ángel Felix Gallardo headed the Guadalajara drug cartel, one of the most famous drug cartels. El Chapo was also part of it. When the cartel dissolved, El Chapo went on to create his drug cartel, Sinaloa Drug Cartel, which later on became the most dangerous criminal gang in the world. El Chapo was a very intelligent man. He brought in new methods to smuggle drugs, like hiding them in chili pepper cans or building tunnels in air-conditioned buses and storing drugs in them. Quite intelligent and cunning for someone who came from a humble background, he soon became an expert in this field. He gained the blind trust of his gang members. They produced different types of drugs and supplied them all over Mexico. In 1993, El Chapo got arrested and faced trial, which got him a sentence of 20 years in prison. He was accused of murder, possession of weapons, and drug trafficking, and found to be guilty of all charges. This was an unfortunate moment in his life. He will lose his cartel and has to build everything from scratch. 20 years is a long period, and he would lose all his good young years in life. He didn't have to serve that long in jail, as the prison guards helped him escape jail. Later on, the prison guards were arrested for being corrupt, including the warden, as they were all part of his escape plan. He expanded his network after escaping from prison. He decided to take his drug cartel globally. He soon started supplying drugs in Colombia and the US. This gained money and fame. His name became a brand, and through that, people started buying from him. He narrowed down his selling of drugs to one single product, which was methamphetamine, and became a great trafficker of it. It was produced in Mexico and trafficked to the United Nations. The amount of income he made through drug trafficking was enough for 10 generations of his to live sufficiently. However, the names associated with all his wealth were drug traffickers and criminals. All his money was cursed, and the medium through which he became rich was questionable in law. The United Nations dug up the drug trafficking network and found El Chapo to be the root cause of it. They decided to capture him to put an end to the supply of drugs. How did America try to capture El Chapo? A country has declared to capture El Chapo, which is a country like America, the most influential and powerful country in the world. The United Nations government made it its mission to put El Chapo behind bars. The only reason he has so far escaped is that his drug cartel is located in Mexico, where the American government has zero access to conduct a full national search. This didn't put an end to the career of El Chapo. He was never even affected by all the declarations made by the United Nations to capture him. This shows how much he believed in himself and his drug cartel. The American government announced $5 million to whoever has information on El Chapo. He was declared the world's most powerful drug trafficker by the United States of America. There were many rivals for El Chapo. He had enemies aiming for his death and rival drug cartels waiting to kill him off. As much money he makes, he is gaining more and more enemies. People hated to see him successful and gaining all the wealth. They wished bad for him. There were only a few people whom he could trust. The rest of them were not all trustworthy and would betray him for money. He knew that he was unsafe and that any time he could be in the hands of the American government ego wouldn't let him walk freely. Soon battles with El Chapo's enemies began. The Mexican army arrested a lot of people associated with drug cartels, but failed to capture El Chapo and his gang members. They escaped easily without being caught. It was a huge failure on the part of the Mexican army to neither capture El Chapo nor destroy his drug cartel. El Chapo understood that if he once again tried to fledge the drug trafficking system, then the American government would capture him, and this time there would be no escape. So he decided to spend his time hiding from the American government and his rivals who wanted to kill him. This was a crucial period in the life of El Chapo, as he had to let go of his drug cartel, which he built from scratch, and had to live the rest of his life in hiding without knowing when he would get caught. His hiding spot was in Mazatlan, located in Mexico. He was hiding for a long period, and once things got settled, he started living his life without worrying about being captured by the American government. But little did he know that a weeks-long operation had been planned and executed by the American government with the help of Mexican Marines. and this time it was successful. 11 July 2015 was the day El Chapo yet again escaped from prison. He executed a well-made for himself. He was jailed in Altiplano Prison, located near Toluca. Altiplano Prison provides showers for the inmates. El Chapo noticed a shaft under the shower. He decided to escape from the prison through the shaft. The shaft led to a tunnel which ends at a construction site. He could put himself through the tunnel and reach the construction site. The only difficult part is crawling through the tunnel, which has a distance of more than 1 mile to reach the construction site. El Chapo is a notorious criminal out there, and his life depends upon whether he can take the risk right now to save his life or be in the hands of the American government, which is waiting for his trial in court. He executed his plan successfully, and yet again he is a free man, but not free from the eyes of the American government. This time he couldn't go into hiding for a long time. He was caught right after he escaped from Los Mochis, located in Sinaloa. A shootout occurred to capture the dangerous criminal of all time, Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera, the drug lord. The American government knew his influence in Mexico and how Will escape from the hands no matter what if they put him in prison in Mexico. They flew him to the United States and put him under their custody. He got charged with various offenses such as murder conspiracy and drug trafficking. He knew that this time he cannot escape. He has no influence or knows the jail system of America to even make a plan to escape. He did not even try to make a move. It was more like he knew his time had come and he was just waiting for it. The trial began and he was sentenced to life in prison. The adventurous journey of the drug lord was sealed and put to an end. He has to serve in jail for the rest of his life without being able to even visit his motherland, Mexico. Who is Emma Coronel Aispuro? This name would be unfamiliar to many. It came out as shocking news to the world that El Chapo had a family and his wife's name is Emma Coronel Aispuro. She played a major role in encouraging and supporting him to run his drug cartel. When El Chapo got arrested, Emma was in Mexico. Before she could continue running his drug cartel, she was arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Even though she pleaded guilty, she couldn't make her escape the sentence. Both the husband and wife were jailed and the deeds they had done paved the path to it. If El Chapo chose another way of living, he would have been unknown to the world and would be living a peaceful life with his family. But he chose the road not taken. This time he couldn't save himself or his family. People whom he even trusted got along with their lives. At the end of the day, he lost everything: his drug cartel, his family, and himself. The money he made couldn't help him, and he has to live the life of a prisoner till he dies. He would be even able to see his wife or be with his family. A type of death no one ever wishes upon even their worst enemy. He must have thought that he could have been shot dead by his rivals back in Mexico. At least he could have died in his motherland. Every day he has to regret the choices he made while being in prison for lifelong. Turn on your notifications and never miss a single video from us.